Hello, hello. Today we get to talk about what supplies that you will need for your art journey. This is the fun one because who doesn't want to spend more time at the art store? Let's get into it. All right, supplies for new artists. I do want to preface this with this quote. Art supplies are tools for creating visual magic. What matters is not what you use, but how you use it. Don't get overwhelmed by all the different pricey options at the art store. Find something that's in your price range, get a variety pack, start exploring with what you have, and don't feel like you need to just splurge and invest in this huge amount of money right now. Just remember that as we go through. All right, some acrylic paint. Start with your primary colors, red, blue, and yellow. Have a tube of black and white is very helpful. And with landscape paintings, greens and browns, we just use those a lot. They're just very earthy tones, so having a tube of those as well is nice, so you're not constantly having to mix those. Paintbrushes, have a variety pack. Flat, round, detail brushes. We're in the exploratory phase, so we're going to just be kind of playing around with what each brush can do. But synthetic brushes work the best for acrylics, so kind of stay in that lane. All right, canvas or canvas panels, 8 by 10, 11 by 14 are great sizes to start out, so you're not too overwhelmed by some of those larger pieces right out the gate. A mixed media sketch pad, so important. These are great because they accept wet and dry media, and they're great for practicing new techniques. And you can kind of lay out your landscape how you want it to look on the notepad first before putting your paintbrush to canvas, which can be kind of intimidating. So have one of those on hand because we're also going to do a lot of exercises and things using the mixed media sketchpad. All right, a palette. This is where you lay out all your paint. You do your mixing. There's wooden, there's plastic, there's paper. I have a paper disposable one pictured on the far right here. But whatever you like, find one that you enjoy. And I just use the paper one because it's very convenient. But yeah, play around with that. Palette knives. So we use these for mixing paint and creating texture on our canvas. So there's usually packs of these as well at your art supply store. They're with different tips, different sizes and shapes. So just get a mixed variety pack of those, and then we can kind of play around with what each one can do. Some sort of water container. I melted all of the wax out of a candle, and I use that as my vessel for painting. But this does not matter. An old jar, whatever you have, we use this to clean our paint. The paint off of our brushes in the middle of a project and thinning our acrylic paint, because as we'll talk about more later, acrylic paint dries really quickly. All right, some sort of rag or paper towels work fine too, just to clean your brushes off in the middle of a project and to wipe the surfaces. All right, easel. This is good, just a nice way to have your good posture. You're able to see your piece very well while you're working on it. Just have this be sturdy. You don't want it to be shaking around while you're trying to work. And the tabletop ones are just an affordable option if you're not able to afford one of the larger standing ones yet. All right, acrylic gesso. So this is to prime canvases and just creates a nice smooth surface to paint on. And I actually use it to blend my paint. It just smooths it out a little bit when I'm blending my backgrounds. So have a bottle of that. Varnish is for after you've completed your piece. You've put a lot of work into it. You varnish it, it just puts a nice safety seal over it. Sometimes they can get scuffed or dented and things like that if you're not too careful. So this just gives it an extra layer of protection. And art sponges. I use these for stippling effect, natural looking textures for my trees or bushes and that kind of things. Again, another variety pack that you can purchase of different sizes and shapes, and then you can play around with what each sponge can do. But these are a fun thing to play around with. So happy shopping, and I'll see you next time.